From the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex, this is Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal. First things first, if you would please get down there in the corner and smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. Thank you very much. If I seem down today, it's for obvious reasons. Remember the old Carpenter song, Rainy Days and Mondays Always Get You Down? Well, as a Lion fan, I can't remember feeling this down for probably a couple of years anyway now. So was not a good day yesterday. And boy, these injuries just keep mounting and mounting. So before we get into the game and get you an injury update, I think we'll end the show today with we've got 4 college playoff games going on this weekend. I'll give you the schedule for that. Before we do that, though, I'll talk about the game yesterday. Let's get you caught up on everything else that's going on. Michigan basketball, they're 8-2. They'll host Oklahoma in Ann Arbor Wednesday night at Chrysler. The Spartans are also 8-2. They will host Oakland University tomorrow night at the Breslin. Pistons play tonight at Little Caesars. They will host the red-hot Miami Heat. The Heat are 13-10. The Pistons come in, I believe, 10-16. And the Red Wings coming off maybe their best win of the season Saturday night against first place Toronto, 4-2. What if Jeff Petrie, not 1 but 2 goals? What are the odds of that happening? Really, Jeff Petrie, 1 goal shy of a hat trick? Boy, I think we've seen that all. Anyway, the Pistons come into the game Wednesday night here against the Flyers at Little Caesars. I think the Pistons. Did I say the Pistons? I'm so rattled right now. The Red Wings go into the game on Wednesday night at Little Caesars against the Flyers. The Wings are 12, 14, and 4. What would that be? 28 points. The Flyers come in, I think, with 32 points. So anyway, we lost to them last week in Philly. I get you caught up on that. Like I said, before we talk any more football here, let's do this. Winter's here. The winter weather is upon us. You wonder why people get sick. This up and down temperature thing. Very gloomy day today in the 50s. Light rain or mist or whatever you want to call it. Foggy. Just a plain old gloomy day. Rainy days and Mondays. Anyway, the winter weather is here. And if you haven't done so yet, folks, now is the perfect time. Now is the perfect time to get to the service department at Frank Beck Chevrolet and make an appointment to make sure your vehicle is ready for the winter weather ahead. And believe me, it's out there. It is coming. You get in there, you let them check the strength of your battery, your belts and hoses, wiper blades, antifreeze, and more. Plus, now is the perfect time to get that new set of tires so you don't go slipping and sliding down the highway. And if you don't think your car will make it through another rough Michigan winter, let the sales pros at Beck's help you find a vehicle for all seasons. 2025s are rolling in nearly every day out of the lot, so right now their selection is tops. You check out their inventory on their webpage at frankbeckchevy.com, or better still, stop by the dealership on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville and let them help you experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Chevy drives Southern Michigan. Where to begin about the game yesterday? If you watched it, you had the feeling once the Lions got behind 14-0, you pretty much had the impression the game was already over at that point. The game was not as close as the final score would indicate. You can't. You just can't. Once they got behind, like I said, once they got behind 14-0, you had the impression that The game was over at that point. After the game, Dan Campbell said he thought Buffalo played with more of a sense of urgency than his team did, and he took responsibility for the loss because he said he didn't have his team ready to play. It's nice of Dan to fall on their sword, but I think all 53 men on that roster are every bit as capable. See, I'm so rattled today about this Lion loss. Every guy on that roster, all 53 men on that Lion roster, are every bit as culpable for this loss as Dan Campbell is. Can't blame Dan Campbell. I mean, look, you want to complain about the first onside kick. That was just luck. That was a lucky bounce, but I can understand why he did that. They weren't stopping Buffalo. They weren't going to stop Buffalo from scoring. His only shot at getting back into that game was getting the ball back right away. Look at it this way. The Lions had just scored. They tried the onside kick. 12 seconds later, the Bills scored again. Let's say if they hadn't tried the onside kick, kicked the ball into the end zone. Bills get the ball at the 30-yard line. And they proceed to go on a 10 or 12 play drive, ending in a touchdown that took anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes off the clock. Really, that would have benefited the Lions. Either way, they scored a touchdown. This way, the Lions saved themselves a little time, actually, if you want to look at it that way. I don't hear anybody mentioning that so far today, but that's something to look about. Jared Goff played his heart out. He really did. Both quarterbacks did, of course. I think with 3 games left, I don't think there's any question who the MVP is. It's got to be Josh Allen. When the guy takes his jersey off after the game, he's probably got a big red S on his chest. In fact, Jared Goff, was the first quarterback in NFL history to pass for more than 400 yards. Yeah, to pass for more than 400 yards, throw 5 touchdowns, no picks, and lose the game. Well, look at the good part of it. The Lions were 5 for 5 and 5 for 5 in the red zone, but not so much the loss. I don't think anybody thought that they were going to go 16-1. Hang on just a second here, folks. Bear with me. I'm on Ross St. Brown, had a career day in spite of the fumble, and I'm still not sure if you go back and look at that, if he ever completely had possession of the ball. I'm not sure he did. I thought when I first saw that, I thought maybe it was an incomplete pass. I don't know who made that call, if it was the refs there or the people in New York or what, but it was. And the Lions also had too many 3 and outs. The Bills only put it once. Well, let's look at these final stats here for a second. Like I said, the game wasn't as close as score would indicate. Passing yards. Okay. Allen had 362. Goff had 473, almost 500 passing yards. Here's the one glaring stat right here, rushing yards. The Bills, 197, and the Lions, 48. Total yards, the Bills, 569. The Lions not that far behind, 521. Time of possession, the Bills, 32 minutes and 42 seconds. Pardon me, the Lions, 27 minutes and 18 seconds. Red zone efficiency, the Bills were 5 for 7. As I said, the Lions were 5 for 5. You can't. Jared Goff played his heart out yesterday. I thought he really did. They caught a break, I guess, when at the end of the half, the Bills missed a very close field goal. The Lions got the ball back. Looked like maybe they might go down and at least get 3 points out of that, but Jake Bates missed badly on a 52-yard field goal attempt. It was never close. It was not a good way to end the half. And going into the fourth quarter, the Lions were still trailing by 17. Bills were in a prevent defense too on the Lions' last drive. That's another deceiving aspect of this whole thing. They knew the Lions. There was no way that they were going to get back into this game. They were all the time that they had to use up. It just. By the way, it was good. Dan Skipper scoring a touchdown. I went back and looked that up, and that was enjoyable to see. That was just the third time in NFL history that an offensive lineman ever scored a touchdown. Just the third time. I don't know what the other two were, but another gadget play that worked for Ben Johnson. And if you want to look at the injuries here, I mean, that was the one. I just mean that the one I could live with the loss. Okay, offensive line did not play very well. It looks to me like Frank Ragnow is hurting. Has he been playing with the torn pec all year? I think he has. But it was not a good day for him yesterday. The guy across from him had his lunch. And Russo and Oliver, those two defensive linemen for the Bills, it seemed like they were in the backfield all day. The really devastating news is they lost 4 more players yesterday, 3 on defense. I'll start with the news that came out just a few hours ago. David Montgomery is out for the season. He will undergo surgery for a torn MCL. Probably won't be ready for the start of next season either. 3 more players on defense. Khalil Dorsey, broken ankle. Aleem McNeil, torn ACL. He's got a torn ACL. And Carlton Davis III has a broken jaw, which will be wired shut. Now, he could play, they say, could be back for the December 26th conference championship game. But gosh, with his jaw wired shut, he'll be drinking sipping shakes the next 6 weeks. Obviously, he's going to lose some weight and some strength. I doubt very much he'll be ready to play in 6 weeks in playing shape. You might as well consider him gone for the year, too. I don't know how they're going to replace him. I've never seen anything like this. In fact, I've got the list I'll run through here in just a second of all the players on the injured reserve for the Lions this year. David Montgomery has been a real key to that running game. And you look at the last 2 weeks now, the running game, they haven't been able to run the ball at all. The Green Bay game, their average yards on running yards per play was 3.3 yards. That's what they were averaging per play in the rushing attack. And yesterday wasn't any better, in fact, a little bit worse. They were only, they said they only gained 48 yards rushing the whole game, and they averaged out to 3.2 yards a carry. Let's face it, they got manhandled on both sides of the line yesterday. Still managed to make it a 6-point game, but that's part of that just 48 yards rushing course. Once they got behind, they couldn't run the ball anymore. They had to pass. And it's possible these two teams could meet up again in the Super Bowl, in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. We'll see. I mean, if you want to look at the good side of this, the Lions could still somehow, and right now it doesn't seem that they've got 3 games left. They'll be in Chicago on Sunday. They're a 6.5-point favorite. Monday night, December 30th. They'll be in San Francisco to play the 49ers. The 49ers look like they're done. And then, of course, the final game of the year, which will probably decide the NFC North title, they play the Minnesota Vikings at Ford Field, unless that game gets flexed. It very well could be if it's for the division title. Hey, they're going to have to win shootouts. Very similar to what you've seen the last couple of weeks. That's probably what these last 3 Lion games are going to be. They're going to have to win shootouts. And as I said, Dan Campbell, this was just their second loss. By the way, it's been more than 2 years since the Lions have lost consecutive games, for what that's worth. And again, I had Dan Campbell. They've lost 2 games, and Dan Campbell blamed himself for both these losses this year. And while it's good of him, nice of him to do that, like I said, all 53 guys on that roster are every bit as much as culpable for this loss as Dan Campbell is. That's just the way he is. I have no problem with it. Again, we'll go for the fake field goal. A lot of people think, well, they're down 10 points. Well, what, 10 or 12 minutes left? Like I said, you kick the ball in the end zone and the Bills get the ball at the 30-yard line. They're probably going to use up 5 or 6 minutes, a 10 or 12 play drive, ending in a touchdown. Letting him score right away, you probably saved yourself 5 or 6 minutes. What they were doing was, I'm sure the thought was, look, if we don't get the ball, we will at least hold them to a field goal. And that didn't happen. You can only lose so many people on defense before it's simply isn't sustainable anymore. It's just not. I've never seen anything like this. Never. It's just amazing. And it's a shame. For everything that they've accomplished this year and all those records that they've set. Not good. Not good. Are they cursed? Snake bit, call it whatever you want. The curse of Bobby Lane. The Lions traded Bobby Lane, quarterback, to the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1960. And he put a curse on the team, as the story goes. If that's before your time, go to Google and just simply Google the curse of Bobby Lane, Lane. I'll tell you all about it. Everything you need to know right there, if you're not familiar with that. Quickly, it's going to take a couple of minutes to run through the Lion injuries, players on injured reserve this year. You ready for this, folks? All right. Defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson, broken leg. Defensive tackle, Aleem McNeil, torn ACL. Defensive tackle, Kyle Peckel, PEKO, Kyle Peckel, torn pectoral muscle. Defensive end, Marcus Davenport, torn triceps muscle. Defensive end, John Comiskey, torn MCL. Defensive tackle, Mekhi Wingo, knee, rookie. Defensive end, Nate Lynn, shoulder. Defensive tackle, David Bata, Achilles. Linebacker, Alex Anzalone, broken arm. Linebacker, Derek Barnes, knee, PCL, and MCL. We're only halfway through this thing, folks. Maybe a third of the way through. There's more. As Ed McMahon would always ask Johnny Carson, is there more? Well, there's more. If you can remember that. Linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maben, shoulder. Linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez, knee, ACL. Quarterback Carlton Davis, broken jaw. Quarterback Ennis Rakestraw Jr., hamstring. Quarterback Khalil Dorsey, broken ankle. Safety Ifatu Melifonwu, broken finger. Running back David Montgomery, torn MCL. Wide receiver, kick returner Khalif Raymond, foot. Wide receiver Antoine Green, concussion, brain. Offensive lineman Connor Galvin, knee. Offensive lineman Natane Muti, shoulder. And last but not least, kicker Michael Badgley, hamstring. That's, folks, to me is completely, totally unbelievable. Last thing I want to say about the Lions. If they win the last 3 games, they've got 3 games left, so they kind of still have their fate in their own hands. If they win the last 3 games, in spite of what anybody else does, they will still be the number 1 seed in the NFC and get a first round bye and guarantee 2 home games before the Super Bowl. But that's right now, that looks like a bit of an undaunting task. And the favorite against the Bears, the 49ers are what, 6-8 after having lost last Thursday night to the Rams 12-6. They're probably going to be favored in that game, depending on what happens that last game against Minnesota at home. Now, the Vikings are probably going to beat the Bears tonight. Next week, they've got Green Bay at home. Let's hope the Packers, that's probably the one time this year you're going to be rooting for the Packers. Let's hope they can beat Minnesota. That is next Sunday, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Or no, I'm sorry. That's in 2 weeks. That's on December 29th, because the Vikings are in Seattle next week to play the Seahawks. And that's another thing. Geno Smith left the game yesterday with appeared to be some kind of a leg or knee injury. And I haven't seen any reports on him, if he's going to play, done for the year, maybe. I don't know. But Geno Smith that's about the time I fell asleep last night after Geno Smith left the game. I haven't seen any reports on him today, but bottom line is Lions win the last 3 games. They finish 15-2, regardless of what anybody else does. Eagles, Vikings, anybody else. I don't have time to explain the tiebreakers, but the Lions will have the number 1 seed. But we're getting way ahead of ourselves on that. Okay, that's all we're going to say about the Lions. A little bit about the Heisman, and I'll tell you what the college football playoff schedule is for this weekend. As always, though, a quick word for good man Tim Lindley, Quality PC, because without his knowledge and assistance and patience, we wouldn't be doing this right now. 37 Waldron Street, downtown Hillsdale, a couple hundred feet west of Howell. All your technical issues, needs, sales, service, whatever it is, computers, new or used. Maybe the computer you have now needs a little work done on it. Maybe it needs to be tweaked. Large flat screen TV, mounting, programming, setup. Maybe you're changing internet providers. Have that installed. Printers, new or used, anything at all. Any technical needs or issues, get in there and see Tim at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale. 37 Waldron Street, 517-610-5372, or better still, like I said, get in there and see him at 37 Waldron Street, a couple hundred feet west of Howell, directly across the street from Fat Jack's Automotive. Get in there and see him. Well, you know, tell him me and Mickey sent you. Thank you very much. Congratulations to Colorado's Travis Hunter, winner of the Heisman Trophy, the 90th, winner of the 90th Heisman Trophy. Two-way player, a quarterback, wide receiver. He did it all. He did it all for the Buffaloes. The first college player to ever win the Biletnikoff and both the Biletnikoff and Bednarik Awards, which go to the best defensive and offensive player. I have seen him going number 1 in some of the mocks, ahead of Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. Wouldn't surprise me if he went number 1. Marvelous athlete. It was a close vote, but in the end, it was Hunter. I predicted Genty would win. I think it was close, but congratulations again to Travis Hunter, this year's Heisman Trophy Award winner. Award winner. Quickly, last but not least, the college playoff schedule for this weekend starts Friday night at 8 o'clock on ABC. Number 10, Indiana at number 7, Notre Dame. That's Friday night at 8 on NBC. And we've got 3 games on Saturday, going directly up against the 2 games at NFL games that are on, NBC and Fox. We'll see how that works out. This Saturday, the 21st, at noon, TNT. At noon, you've got number 11, SMU, at number 6, Penn State. Also on TNT at 4 o'clock Saturday, you've got number 12, Clemson, at number 5, Texas, And then to round everything out, back on ABC, 8 o'clock Saturday night, you've got number 4 Tennessee at number 8 Ohio State. That could very well be the game of the day. Volunteers are very good this year. It would surprise me to see them beat the Buckeyes, although it isn't Columbus. All right, we're done. That's going to just about do it. Tonight, you've got 2 games, 2 NFL games. I don't know why. Simultaneously, one on ESPN, one on ABC. The game on ABC, NFC North matchup, Bears and Vikings. Vikings will probably win rather easily. And it would be, I think it would be the Bears' 8th straight loss. There's another game on ESPN, but who cares? No, that's about what it's come to. Anyway, that's gonna do it for a not so gleeful Monday. Like I said, as a Lion fan, I haven't felt this bad in quite a while. So I've never seen injuries like this. Just completely decimated with injuries. Just a shame, too, for everything they've accomplished. Go to Google. Google the curse of Bobby Lane. That's what comes up to me here. By the way, I don't know why BetMGM still has the Lions at Super Bowl favorites at plus 400. I don't know what's going on there either. That's going to just about do it for us, though. I'll be with you again on Wednesday. Don't forget the every Saturday morning from 9 to 10, Time Out with Andy Brown. Here locally at 92.1 WCSR, 92.1 FM. And as I said, I will talk to you all again on Wednesday. So until then, please remember to treat each other with respect. Have a good rest of your evening. And as always, thanks for watching. So long, everybody.